So when a marriage ends, dividing up your life is, well, it's a huge puzzle. But there's one piece that is almost always the toughest to figure out: the family home. In this explainer, we're going to break down the options for handling this unique and, let's be honest, emotionally charged asset.
All right, let me ask you something. When a couple decides to separate, what's the one single thing you think causes the most headaches, the most stress, the most conflict? The answer might surprise you.
Yep, you got it. It's the family home. And that's because it's so much more than just a number on a spreadsheet, right? It's where memories were made, it's a symbol of a life you built together, and that's what makes deciding what to do with it so incredibly tough.
And that, right there, is what we call the divorce home dilemma. So let's dig into why this one asset, above all others, becomes such a massive roadblock for couples who are just trying to move on with their lives.
Well, it really boils down to a few key things. For starters, financially, it's almost always the biggest asset you share, so the stakes are super high. Then you've got the emotional side of it. All those memories are literally baked into the walls. And on top of that, there are the practical questions. Who's going to pay the mortgage now? Who's responsible for repairs? Every single one of these can drag out the process and just create more friction.
Okay, so what do most people do? They take the traditional sales path. But as you can imagine, during a divorce, that path can feel like a really long and bumpy road, especially when things are already tense. Just think about a typical timeline for a second. The first month is all about getting the house ready. You've got to agree on repairs, stage it, get it listed. Month 2 is a parade of strangers walking through your home for showings, followed by negotiations. And by the time you hit month 3, you're in the weeds with inspections, waiting on the buyer's financing. It can just drag on forever. For a couple already struggling to agree, each one of these steps is just another potential fight waiting to happen.
And let's not forget where the money actually goes. Even when you finally sell, a pretty big chunk of that equity vanishes. Take a look here. That big slice, usually around 6%, that's for the agent commissions. Then you add in closing costs, and you're already looking at a significant cut from the final amount that you two actually get to split.
Oh, and it doesn't stop there, because a buyer's inspection almost always turns up some issues that need fixing, which brings up another fun question: who pays for that? It's just one more thing to argue about, one more check to write. Okay, but what if there was another way? A different route entirely. The source material we're looking at here details an alternative that's basically designed to sidestep all those problems we just talked about. It's the all-cash offer. So let's put them side by side. This table really lays it all out, doesn't it? On one hand, the traditional sale. You're looking at 3+ months, arguing over repairs, paying out thousands in commissions, and dealing with endless showings. On the other hand, the cash offer. A closing in as little as a week. Selling the house exactly as it is, 0 commissions, and no showings. It's a complete game changer. You know, this quote really sums up the whole idea perfectly. The goal here isn't just about selling a house. It's about turning a total nightmare, a major point of conflict, into something simple and, stress-free, so that everyone can just move on. So how does this all actually work? I mean, it sounds almost too easy, right? But the whole process is designed to be fast and incredibly straightforward. It's really just 3 simple steps. First, you just share the basic details about your home. Second, you get a cash offer, and it's totally no obligation. You can take it or leave it. And third, if you like the offer, you get to pick the closing date that works for you. That's it. It cuts out almost all of the annoying steps and middlemen you'd normally have to deal with. Now think about this number, 24, as in 24 hours. When you're selling the usual way, you could wait weeks or even months for a decent offer. This way, you get a real fair cash offer in your hands in just one day. In a situation that's filled with uncertainty, that speed gives you something really powerful: clarity and control. And then there's this number, 7. Just 7 days. Remember that 3-month-plus timeline we talked about? This is the exact opposite. Finalizing the sale in a week means the house is sold, the money is there to be divided, and most importantly, it allows both people to get that legal and personal closure they need to actually, truly move forward. All right, so let's wrap this up. What's the big takeaway here? Well, it's not really about one way being better than the other. It's all about understanding what your priorities are and what you're willing to trade. This right here, this is the core of the whole decision. Sure, the traditional route might get you a higher price on paper if the market is perfect and the buyer is perfect and the whole process goes smoothly. The cash offer route, on the other hand, is all about prioritizing speed, certainty, and just less fighting. The choice is pretty clear. It's a potentially higher price versus a guaranteed, fast, and peaceful closing.
And that leaves us with one final, really important question to think about. When you're going through one of the hardest transitions in your life, what's actually more valuable? Is it squeezing every last dollar out of the sale, or is it the ability to get a clean break, quickly, and finally have some peace of mind? That's a question only you can answer.